Hello and welcome to the second Sugar Fine podcast. We are filling in for the boys on Beyond the Pine, and I'm really excited to have everybody here. So let's go around and we'll start with Autumn and just introduce ourselves for anybody who doesn't recognize our faces.
Hell yeah, I'm Autumn. I'm the editor here, just in case you didn't know. That's it. That's me.
Hi, I'm Vicky. I'm the assistant editor.
I'm Natalia. I'm not really sure what I do here yet.
You're Toy.
I'm Toy. I'm Toy. I'm Steve's mom.
You can be his wife if you want to take over duties for me. Sometimes it'd be nice to have a break.
I'm Lauren, and I'm James's girlfriend.
Already. I'm Clay/Kib's wife. Put your clothes on.
Oh, he's showing his titties. I'm Alyssa. I'm Steve's fiance.
I'm Reina. I'm a friend.
A friend of the show.
A friend of the show.
And I'm Mimi. I'm a producer and I'm dating Jamie.
Yay.
Dating a Jamie.
Yeah, dating a Jamie.
So much fun.
Just want to say thank you to our sponsors today, Simply Safe and Bespoke. We're really excited to have you guys sponsoring us.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
We either have a full glass or one sip in there.
There we go. We have several bottles of the finest wine that money can
We're gonna need to open another one soon.
Yeah, I know. I agree. How does everybody like this one?
I like it.
My
So
coworker
good.
got it for me.
Smooth.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Tell
big
her.
drinker, but yeah, it's smooth. I
don't know, you
I
drink.
can do it. Yeah. So this is how much I started with.
Yeah, so thank you guys all for being here.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
being in the same room with everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And yeah, I guess we kind of talked about how we've all been on some pretty awesome trips lately, so maybe we can start to get into that. 'Cause we've had some cool travels. I don't know who wants to.
Autumn, I'm interested in hearing you driving through a hurricane.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
Oh, I saw the video of that.
Yeah, I was so scared. I thought I was going to die, actually. It was horrible. Yeah, so I went to Phoenix. I drove to Phoenix. It's not that far of a drive. It's like 6 hours. To get my pug, who lives with my mom. That didn't end up panning out because he had a panic attack on the way. And so I just gave him back because I was like, you're 11 years old. I don't want you to have a heart attack. But I was driving. I know. I felt so bad for him. But I was driving back, and I got caught in what's called a microburst. I'm pretty sure it was a microburst. It's like basically a like very small contained area of a hurricane that happens like in the desert. And dude, it was like I was driving on the 10 really fucking fast, and all of a sudden there was just so much rain. Like, I've never seen this much rain in my life, and I'm from the desert, so I'm used to like monsoons and microbursts and shit, but I could not see more than the headlights in front of me, barely, and the wind was blowing so hard I thought my car was gonna blow off the fucking road.
Oh, damn.
It was so, like, I don't get nervous from that shit because
Were you alone?
I was alone, yeah.
Did your life flash before your eyes?
It really did, because like I wasn't even worried about I was worried that it was gonna flood because it's the desert and it's on the 10, and I was like, holy fuck, if it floods right now, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Was anyone else on the road?
There were, yeah, and everyone was like driving really, really slow, but I stopped on the side of the road because I was like nervous driving, and I called Bruce, and he was like, no, you need to keep driving in case like it floods, and I was like, fuck, you're right. It was so fucking scary. But
Bruce
then
coming in with the wisdom.
I know, seriously, he was like,
voice of reason.
he's like, calm the fuck down, just like keep driving, it's fine. I was like, I'm gonna die. But yeah, that was my story. It was terrifying, but I'm alive, and it's all
That
good.
actually reminds me, Natalia and I used to live together, and we flew into Oklahoma, where she's from, and drove a U-Haul back with a bunch of furniture to our house. And on the way back, I think we were in Texas.
Yeah, we were driving through Oklahoma, I thought it was.
Oh,
or
maybe so.
Somewhere that no one cares about, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it could
But
be anywhere.
We were driving on a highway, and then all of a sudden there's a tornado warning, and I'm like,
Oh, no.
I think my dad had been like, hey, there's going to be a big storm, and we were like, whatever, like, shut up. Like, who cares? I'm making Snapchats, like, get off the phone, you know?
Yes, yeah.
And then we get an alert on the phone that's like, tornado, like, storm advisory, pull over, seek shelter.
It's
and
like
Alyssa
you
and I
are
are
in the
just like,
radius. Yeah.
we're listening to like Sum 41 CDs from my old childhood room because my parents were moving out. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna yoink, take all this stuff that was mine, right? And then I'm like, I don't know where the storm is. Like, where is it? And then there's only one other car on the highway next to us, and we look over at us, and it's a storm chaser car, like
Yes.
with like all of the sirens and stuff
Okay,
on
but
it.
the best part is I I was really nervous because I was like, shit, like we're in the middle, because you get the alert on your phone. It's like, we detect that you are in the like that certain radius where there's a tornado.
Pouring.
And I'm like, there's no other cars on the road. Like, how is this possible? And then we see another car driving the opposite direction. We're like, oh, we're fine. There's another car on the road. And as we get closer, on the side, it just says storm chaser. And then we look out the right, and there's a tornado in the distance. I took a picture of it on Snapchat.
It was like an F5. Also, I have this like redneck knowledge from Oklahoma where if it's raining, there can't possibly be a tornado. So like the fact that it was raining, I was like, oh, there can't be a tornado. But apparently that's wrong, because I Googled it, and it's just like made up like redneck facts from Oklahoma that aren't true. Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's like what you tell the homesteaders to just relax.
Freak me out.
Yeah. And it was hailing as well.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Did you guys see that SpaceX launch?
Yes.
Okay, we were driving home from somewhere. We were in the convertible with the top down. So I see like a star that looks like too bright to be a star. It's really big. I'm like, what's that? Then all of a sudden it starts like changing, and I didn't know this was a SpaceX thing. Like, we didn't know something was supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
So imagine like
Jesus is coming back.
aliens. That was my first reaction, because it starts to get bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden something shoots out of it like a firework, and then it looked like it started going up in the sky. And then we thought, like, okay, it's either going to explode right now or, like, it's aliens. And then also, it gets real big and blue. Like, it looked like Northern Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Nebula.
And
I only saw the pictures
since
of
we have the
it, but-
top
me
down
too.
in the car, too, and we're on the freeway, first of all, this is so dangerous. We didn't know if this was aliens or, like, some, like,
Aliens.
acid rain. Like, we thought, like, what
Please
if
let
this
it be
drops
aliens.
down? What if this drops down and, like, kills us?
So,
So I was like, pull over. But then think about all the cars who are just, like,
yeah.
like looking up. We're either
idea.
gonna get hit or we're the ones who are gonna hit someone. That was so scary. Like,
We were
maybe
on the
notify
freeway
us.
too, and we have a Jamie was like filming it, going like, "What is
I was trying to
Is it
film it, too.
aliens? What is going on?"
I was like, we have alien footage.
We all
This
did
is
the
gold.
same thing. Audrey and I did it too. She was driving and she's like, "Can you please look on my side?" Like, as we were driving, I'm like, "What are you in her car?" I was like, "I can't climb over to your side, but I can see from mine." And it literally looked like something was rippling the sky.
Yeah, like a nebula or
Yeah,
something.
and it
It was
wasn't
cool,
Yeah, and it
though.
wasn't just blue. It was like all these other tremendous colors.
Yeah.
And I heard that the only reason why it looked like that is because LA is super polluted.
Yeah. Oh,
I heard that, yeah, we could see the colors only in our area.
Kind of ruins the majesty of it.
Seriously.
One
God,
time I
was
was
just
driving on the freeway and I saw a green light in the sky, like going like this, like a shooting star, but it was green. And I immediately thought aliens. I took a picture of it. I like called my brother, because my brother is super, I don't know if I should say this on camera because he's embarrassed about it, but he's into aliens. And so
Who's not into aliens?
well, my brother's like
Get him on the
very
podcast.
pragmatic, like very like rational, but he totally is into aliens. And so, so I called him and I was like, I swear, like look over the freeway right now. And then later I Googled it and it was just a comet.
We went on Twitter.
Or is it a cover up?
Yeah.
I typed in
Reddit.
alien Los Angeles to get like the first thing, and the first thing I see is calm down Los Angeles. Like SpaceX has a launch. It's not aliens.
People would Google that.
That's the kind of warning I want on my phone. Like, hey,
Right.
there's gonna be a rocket. Like, don't
Right.
crash
Yeah,
on
don't
the
freak
freeway.
out.
It's gonna be like that
Because
would
when
be a
we
good
when
alert.
we
alien.
when we took the exit off, everyone was parked along. Maybe it was even like merging on another freeway. People were parked in other cars, like filming it. I wanted to scream out the window, like check Twitter. It's SpaceX. These aren't aliens. But you could see it in their eye. They're like, we're all getting alien footage.
One time there was a bunch of fighter jets that flew over like my house, and I was like, oh my god, this is World War III starting right now, and I like was freaking out. And then I went on Twitter and everyone's like, oh my god, World War III. And then 15 minutes later, it turns out it was just Dodgers opening day, and
the
they were
Blue
practicing.
Angels.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
Blue
come on,
Angels.
they weren't flying in formation. Like if I see like a cool formation, I'm gonna know, okay, that's not the
planned.
military.
Yeah.
But they were just like, it was like vroom, and then like 5 minutes later you're like vroom, and I was like, oh, we're dying now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty
I saw
sick.
that actually at the dog park.
Yeah.
And Silver Lake.
Yeah, it wasn't like a comforting feeling. That's the climate we're in.
And speaking
Seriously.
of intruders, we're going to take a minute to talk about one of our sponsors, which
Good
is
segue.
Simply Safe.
Me, the expert.
And I am
Genius on
so
track.
excited because I found this stuff hanging around the office, and we have had a ton of break-ins in our neighborhood lately. So I am really excited to get this like set up and feel a little bit safer, especially when like I'm home alone and stuff like that. But so yeah, that's why I'm a big fan of Simply Safe, because I've heard so many people say that they just feel like
Simply
safe.
safe.
Simply Safe, yes. And yeah, if a storm takes out your power, Simply Safe is ready. If an intruder cuts your phone line, Simply Safe is ready. And if they destroy your keypad or your siren, Simply Safe will still get you the help that you need. And yeah, it could possibly be overkill, but you know, that's what makes Simply Safe home security so great. It's always ready no matter what. And Simply Safe could cost an arm and a leg like some of the other companies out there that, like, I don't think I should
Home
say the other
security.
company. Others home security.
There you go.
places that
Yeah.
drain your bank account. But instead, they only charge you what's fair, and that's 24/7 professional security monitoring for just $14.99 a month. And there are no contracts and no hidden fees. And yeah, you kind of got to check it out. So if you go to simplysafe.com/pine today, that's simplysafe.com/pine to protect your home and family today. Simplysafe.com/pine. Learn more about Simply Safe today at simplysafe.com/pine.
It is not overkill, by the way, as somebody who's gotten broken into. It is not
Yes,
overkill.
Reina, you
Yes,
have.
it's bad.
You
and
got
it's
all
scary.
your stuff stolen, didn't you?
Oh my goodness.
Were you home?
Where was
I mean,
this?
moving truck, right?
It happened twice.
Oh my gosh.
The first time was my car, but it was in my gated and parked, like fully cemented, and security guard supposedly was there area. It was like literally underneath my apartment. But I was moving, so like all of my shit was in there.
Dude, that
so
sucks.
yeah, everybody's like, oh, they probably like eyed your stuff, saw that you left all your shit like in your car overnight, and that's when they took it. It was a '98 Honda Civic, so I kind of get it, but it was like in my home, so that sucks. And then the second time, I was again moving out, and literally the day that we took down our blinds, somebody broke in because we were on the first floor this time, and it's like a balcony floor.
Oh, so someone was like looking.
Yeah,
they were
it's
literally-
just a glass door. So like, even I mean, honestly, I've broken into my place before because I locked
Yeah.
it from the
To
wrong
others'
side.
places.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
I've broken into places, so.
But yeah, when I saw that, I was just like, I can't. This is too terrifying. So yeah, it matters. It really does matter.
So go to simplysafe.com/pine today.
Yeah, $15 a month. That's
That's
same as
super
you.
reasonable.
For the trauma that you can avoid,
Right.
yes,
That's
it's worth it. Okay.
Also, I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts and have a lot of anxiety because of it.
Yeah.
But stuff happens all the
True. All the
time.
time.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane, especially in a city like LA.
yeah.
LA's pretty
No matter
gnarly.
where you live in LA.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I took like a really cute Instagram story, but I need to get everyone's. Can everyone tag themselves in this if I didn't already?
Yeah, and I want to hear about your guys' big trip. Like, that sounds so amazing.
Okay, so to preface this, there's a group of normally there's 5 of us, but this year there were 6, and it's a group of girls, and we try to go to a new country every year.
Every summer we go a new place, a bunch of girls, no boys allowed.
No boys allowed. Except for Steve. I invite him everywhere and he just doesn't come, but that's okay.
That's another conversation.
That is another conversation.
Yeah, and
we
every
can
time
have.
we go somewhere and Steve doesn't come, I do a toast to Steve, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna thread all of these together, and on your 50th anniversary, it's just gonna be like 50 years of me toasting when you're not at like where we are.
Every time Steve doesn't join us for something and we're drinking, we just go, here's to Steve, like with varying levels of drunk, and it's going to be fantastic when we string it all together. But so this year we decided to go to England. Oktoberfest. But we flew into London, had 3 days in London, took the train to Cologne, had a couple days in Cologne, then took the train to Munich, which is where Oktoberfest actually is, and that's where we spent the majority of our time, like almost a week. And then we went up to Berlin for a couple days, and then flew into Denmark. Ended up having a day in Denmark because of a layover situation that happened. But yeah, it was
Get
so
to the
much
good
fun.
part.
Well, which good part should I mention? There's so many.
See, I wouldn't have even told anyone where we went. I would be like, you guys want to hear a story?
Okay, well, you tell a story. There's so many.
Yeah.
There's just so many good ones.
Okay, so which one should we start with?
Well, I don't know.
First of all, just some background about Oktoberfest if you haven't been. It's like a giant fair in Munich, and it's dedicated to pretty much beer, and they have giant beer tents, and it's basically like the frat party of the world.
So fratty, which is fun
Yeah.
for like a short visit.
Everyone wears dirndls, which are basically like put your tits on display, and
which is my jam.
Did you
I
get
was
those out
excited.
there?
I will say,
Yes.
get them
being
before or
with
out there?
Alyssa at Oktoberfest was like
Thumbnail
being a
fest.
famous person because anywhere we would go, we got like VIP service. Like we didn't have to try for anything, and it was really nice. Being Alyssa's friend has like really like improved my life.
Here's something about me. I love compliments. Thank you so much, but I don't know how to react to them. So I'm just gonna sit here. Every
You don't
time
have to
compliment
react.
Me. Okay. Well,
my God,
anyway, it was really fun. We went, so.
Oh, yeah, and all the guys wear lederhosen, too. And it doesn't matter where you're from, like, you're supposed to participate. So if you've never been to Germany before, or if your family, like, invented Oktoberfest 300 years ago, like, you wear the lederhosen, you wear the dirndl, and you go and you drink. And they make the special beer for it that's, like, has a higher alcohol content than regular beer. And you drink out of these giant, like, mugs that hold 5 beers in them. Yeah.
We're probably exaggerating, but it's.
No, they do.
Is it 5? Okay,
Yes.
it was huge at any rate, and I blacked out, and I haven't.
Yeah,
in
so
a fun
we're
way.
wasted.
Yeah,
Like by
not
3
scary.
p.m. you're wasted, blackout drunk.
Yeah, we started at 10 a.m. one of the days. Got really, really drunk. We were playing all these fun drinking games, like the beer fairy game, which we should play during this podcast because we're drinking.
Oh, where you have to, like,
you have to take
take
your
off the
fairy
fairy?
off, put it on your shoulder, then you take your drink, and then you put it back on the drink when you're done. And if you forget to take it off or put it back on, the person who catches you gets to say where your fairy flew. So one of the days I was drinking and I forgot to take my fairy off, and I don't remember who said this to me, but they were like, "Hey, you see that couple making out over there? Your fairy flew on that girl's head." And so I had to go.
hilarious.
I had to go walk over to them and be like, "Oh, hello, what a lovely couple you are. Oh, don't mind me." Like that.
Is it invisible?
It's invisible.
Oh, okay. I pictured like a
It's a-
little like
no, it's a
plastic
real
like,
fairy.
pocket.
It's a
like,
real fairy.
And then the other game we play, which is a great game and everyone should play this because we made it up, is called Tyra Beer.
I don't know if people are ready for that game. It's like a super meta inside joke. We can tell the beer part, not the Tyra part.
I'm going to tell it.
Okay.
Okay? Like, I'm going to tell it. So every time you say a word that starts with B, you have to say beer. So if you're like, I don't know, like...
I'm having a good time. Beer, I'm also tired.
Right, instead
Yeah.
of because.
Or but.
Or butt.
Yeah, or but. You have to say beer, and if you don't, you drink. And then also, every single person is Tyra.
Is
So
named
who's the
Tyra.
president of the United States?
Tyra.
And so you're like, Tyra, will you come with me to go to the beer? Like, Tyra, will you come with me to go to the bathroom? Yeah. So
The beer room.
it sounds
have to
really
drink.
cool, and it gets
so
cooler.
hard.
It gets
No,
really hard
that
the
is
drunker
so
you
hard.
get.
that.
And that's why it's called
think I can do
Tyra
that.
Beers, because it's Tyra Banks, but you can't say Banks, so it's
Yeah.
Tyra Beers.
Yeah.
It's doubly hot.
Yeah.
You guys made that up?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very
We were-
complicated.
It's fun. I like it.
It's like the drunk version of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. I feel like there was a story that I thought was
There's a lot of stories that are not safe for work,
Anywhere.
For work. Yeah.
There was one that we were talking about before the podcast started, and now I can't remember what it was about.
Well, I don't know. What? Oh, you're not supposed to steal the steins because they're like €60 and they sell them in the beer tents. So it's like a big deal if you try to steal them. Like security will take you out. Like you'll get kicked out of the festival, whatever. Not for us because we just took the steins and put them underneath our skirts.
Under the dirndls and waddle out.
And I waddled out, and like the security is just looking at you like, wow, you're this
fucked
is sad
up.
for you. Actually, like, I know what you're doing right now, but like this is sad for you, so you can have it.
And
I
our
saw someone do that at Walmart with television.
They put it under the
in
skirt.
their
It was
skirt.
like, yeah.
How
they
big
put
was
it
the
on
TV?
their
What?
legs.
How big is
It was
yeah, is it a
How big
hoop
was the
skirt?
TV though?
I feel like it was when they were like the small like boxy ones.
Was it a
but-
ball gown?
Then they were
CrossFitter.
heavy.
Yeah, they got caught.
Oh, yes.
Because I read about it
Expectedly.
afterwards. Like, waddled with it. Yeah.
Maybe they had it tied to one of those strings that you put in your vag, like tied around like a
tampon?
or something.
You've been doing Kegels your whole life preparing for this.
Someone should invent that for festivals. Like you know how they make like little flasks that are like don't look like flasks. They
Oh
should
yeah,
have like
I have those little
something.
tampon flasks.
Yeah,
Oh,
they also have doob tubes that look like tampons, so you
Yeah.
can stick your joint in it and then
Oh, yeah,
close it up.
That's
What?
smart.
That's brilliant.
I gave it to Audrey for Christmas one year. You should ask her. She still has
I mean,
it.
I'm not going to borrow hers, but yeah.
I remembered what it was. The cab driver.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you tell that story.
Okay, so we actually didn't find this out until a couple days ago because someone told us this story like after the fact. Alyssa and I were blacked out, so we didn't know. And they were like, "Oh yeah, at Oktoberfest, like remember you guys? Like here's a really funny story. We had to take a cab from where we were to the tent, and we didn't have it. Like we had too many people for the car to sit in. I think only
And
5
no
people
money.
could sit in, and we had no money, and it was like a whole thing. And so Alyssa and I were like, cab driver, we'll just show you our titties. Like, and he was like, no, I need
He was
money.
like, no, I need money. Like, what are you offering? And then, according to our tour guide, because our tour guide was in the cab with us, the tour guide.
We got like super offended, and we were like, "Oh, okay, fine."
No, but then the cab driver later said to our tour guide, Sebastian, shout out Sebastian, I'm sure you're watching this. The tour guide was like, wait, are those girls American? And Sebastian was like, yep, yeah, they're tourists. And he was like, do you think that they'll still show me their titties if I ask them again? And Sebastian was like, nope, you had one opportunity, you lost your opportunity. Like,
and he was so disappointed. He was like,
he still drove us.
Man, but see, like that's a decision.
Him. You have to.
Well, yeah, there was another person in our cab that ended up having money and like threw a bunch of money at him and was like, just drive us to wherever we're going.
That's nice.
I mean, that's just very embarrassing though, to be like, we'll show you our tits,
Like,
and then they're like, I don't want to see your tits.
He's like, this is
just
my
kidding.
living
I'll
tab for my
pass.
life. I need money. Your titties don't pay my rent.
Do it as much. I wish
I know.
I could.
Can you imagine if a guy tried to do that? Like, I'll show you my dick if you'll.
Nah,
give
I
me
would be
some-
like,
Oh,
no.
God.
I would be like, no, but also like, wow, he's really confident. Like, I wonder, maybe like DM me later. Like, just send a picture. I don't want to be like
but
here
here's my
to see your
Instagram.
reaction.
I mean, show me the dick
Need some
first,
time.
and then like we'll decide.
Yeah.
like the feature
Send me
on
the specs
Yeah,
of that
exactly.
dick first.
Nah.
Jamie,
Nah.
shut up, man.
I mean, if anyone was confident, like, I'll show you my pussy, I would probably be like, okay,
All right.
What do you mean?
Yes.
Is it worth it?
Just right now? Like, yeah. All right, I'm interested now, kind of.
We probably have more stories, but I can't think of any right now. So, Vicky, I don't know if you want to talk about New York.
Oh, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's like
It's New York.
Oktoberfest. Oh yeah, it's New York. I almost died, but we're not gonna talk about that part.
I want to hear that part first.
No, like
part.
legit,
You.
I like cannot. No, but I went to New York to visit my sister who lives there and my girlfriend's aunt. We were going to the East Coast for a wedding that Marley was maid of honor for in Pennsylvania. So we're like, let's go to New York, East Coast, close. And then, I mean, I spent half of it in the Hamptons because her aunt owns like a house out there. And I was like, what is this life? Like, just like riding bikes.
Gossip girl.
And I'm just like, is this how like Serena Vanderwoodson like lives? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then went to New York for a couple days and then ended up in Pittsburgh for a wedding. That's it. I really can't tell the death one.
Okay,
I really can't.
that jogged my memory.
Can we guess?
Yeah. Oh wait,
Okay, let's guess how you almost died.
And if we get it
Alcohol.
right, you're gonna tell us.
No.
Oh,
Did it have to do?
Okay.
guessing game?
I can't.
Did it?
There's no payoff then.
Did it have to do with like falling off of a really something that was like? Did it have to do with falling?
No.
No.
Did you actually
Alcohol poisoning.
No.
Is there water involved?
Did it have to do
No.
with a person? Like this is a
Yes.
scary person. Okay. Did it
Yes.
have to do with an Uber driver?
He could have been an Uber driver, but
So it was a
Cab driver.
male.
Cab
Someone
driver.
in a car.
We've narrowed it down.
Natalia, we almost died on our trip because of a bad driver.
I don't remember.
No, but I willingly got into the car, and I was like, "This could be it." So this could be
Oh, stranger danger.
Yeah, it was stranger danger, Vicky.
Was someone
Sounds like
pretending to be an Uber driver?
a serial killer.
No, we're just gonna go to the next person.
Okay, well, our bus driver, when we were visiting the castle of Linderhof, remember?
Fuck. I hate
And-
fucking castles.
Okay,
Jesus
I had a
Christ.
great time. It was
Okay.
beautiful
Let me-
scenery.
let me just
Bavarian
say-
culture is lovely.
Let me just say, all the fucking castles can just burn to the ground because I don't give a shit about castles. There's too many of them in Europe.
the pictures
strong
looked
fighting
amazing,
words.
I will
Yes,
say.
they were
Triggered.
beautiful.
They looked
I'm
amazing.
You've seen one,
triggered.
you've seen them all.
I am triggered.
It's the fucking same people at the same thing.
I'm
like,
triggered that you're triggered by castles.
Whatever. I just feel like if I spent half of the time looking at castles that I did, like making myself a better person, like I would be president of the United States.
But you are a better person from your worldly experiences. Yeah, the culture that you experience.
If anything, worldly experiences have made me bitter enough to know that everything is the same everywhere you go and there's no surprises left in this world. But please continue.
Okay, so I will tell a story about how we almost died because our cab, or not, it wasn't even a cab driver, it was a double-decker bus, and we were driving from Munich to some like 5 miles north of the Austrian border, and a car that was being rented by a tourist tried to go on the opposite side of the road to pass the bus, but they didn't have enough time because another car started coming, so they ran into our bus. They had to slam on the brakes. I didn't have my seatbelt on yet. I like went flying into the seat in front of me, and we had the nicest tour guide lady ever, and she was just narrating literally everything. And so she was like, oh, it appears that we have hit a car.
Oh my God.
What we will be doing now is we will get out of our
Sounds
bus.
like Mrs. Doubtfire.
And that's what she sounded like. And she's like, and we will now be exchanging the insurance information. Oh, this lady looks like she's had quite a fright. Like the lady's like getting out of her car, like shaking. Like
actually Robin Williams.
Also,
I'm down. That's soothing.
yeah.
I'm
So
down.
it was very soothing. I liked
This
it.
woman's voice,
ASMR.
it was nice, of course, but I was very hungover, and she wouldn't shut the F up. She would be like, so if you're enjoying the car ride, then you can give us a tip later, and if you don't enjoy the car ride, then you can keep your money for yourself, and if you feel inclined that you change your mind during our ride and decide that you like the bus driver, and it's just like, how many ways can you say the same sentence? Like, I felt like she was like, had a word limit of like, I have to say like 500,000
It's like
words
writing an
on
essay,
this.
trying to fake it. Fake the word count,
I was like, I know you're speaking English, but you're doing the most. Like, literally, she would be like, and it's our last vision of, like, whatever the fuck the castle's name was. I don't know. I like, just talking about it's making me mad, so.
She was a very lovely bus driver, and our bus driver did make sure that we didn't die. He could have just hit that car head on, but he
That's
slammed
true.
on his brakes. So.
The bus driver, every time I would get out of that car, I had my hair half pink and half green this time. He would get out and he'd be like smoking a cigarette and like looking at me, and he would be like, which side you like better? Oh my God. And I would be like, that's the greatest. Every time. Every single time.
asked you
Every
multiple
single
times.
time. Every single time. We stopped at least 3 times.
That's so weird.
I almost, yeah. And it was always like a different way. It was like, maybe blue is nice. And the next time he'd be like, pink more girly. Like,
Well, what side did you like better?
see, I think I liked neither side better because like it was an impulsive decision, and at the time I was like really
Gotcha.
feeling myself, and I was like, yeah, let your light shine. And then like 5 minutes later, I was like, you're fugly. Like, you need to hide right now. Like, no one look at you. Like, and it was impossible to hide at Oktoberfest. People kept touching my
I
head.
need to
Like,
give her some more wine.
and this is the worst part too, because Alyssa's encouraging it.
Reina, I want to hear about Japan. Did you almost die in Japan, or did you have a pleasant journey?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Reina.
Yeah.
Yes.
I go to
I
Japan.
want to go back to Japan.
Quite a lot. For work often, but this time I actually went because well, I guess I could say it now. Mike and I are moving to Japan.
I heard that.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
What city?
In Shizuoka, which is right next to Mount Fuji.
Holy
it's
fuck.
in the middle of nowhere. Mike's the only
Okay.
white man in the whole village.
Oh my
Very good.
God.
Is that good for you?
I don't know. I'm getting kind of nervous about it. At first, I was like, "This is funny," and now I'm like, "This is fucking annoying."
Does he speak Japanese at all?
He is trying. He's been taking classes for the last year, and it obviously accelerates when he's there. But now he can hold a conversation with my grandfather, who has an insane dialect. He barely speaks Japanese, so the fact that he can talk to him is kind of like really nice.
My heart is warmed right now.
It's nice.
The wine.
Yeah. Yes, the wine. The wine.
I feel my heart beating.
The only Japanese I know is Ohio gozaimasu.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Good morning. Yeah. Actually, you pronounced it really well.
I used to know where is the bathroom, but
That's very important.
It's gone.
I don't need it anymore. So
My
Ohio
understanding,
gozaimasu.
you just put moss on the end of everything, and then you're good.
Moss makes it like just the right amount of formality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like even if you don't know anything, Japan really likes it when you try. So if you put moss at the end of anything, it's like, oh, you're trying to be polite. You even know that. So it's really nice.
That's
It's a nice ego stroke. It's like the best participation award.
I love it, man.
But yeah, it's really also my whole family's there, so I'm kind of like I've been here for 7 years now with Mike, and it's been great, but it's so expensive, guys. I want to live in the middle of nowhere.
I'm sorry, more expensive. Wait, Japan is more expensive than Los Angeles?
No. LA is more expensive. Yeah, I'm in the middle of nowhere in Japan, so it's like very cheap and very nice. It'll be quite a change, but I only live like an hour away from Tokyo, which is where most of my work will be. So it's gonna be quite exciting. But I have a DBA here, so I have to come back every 3 months.
Oh, wow.
That's fine. I have like an open like business.
That works for us.
Isn't that
I got it.
Just take a quick stop off in like Hawaii for a day.
Oh my
and
god,
then come
the
to LA.
dream! Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah. So I went this time only for a week to get all of our residency stuff in because we have to apply for his like national health insurance. Another reason why Japan is pretty dope. Health insurance is insane over there. Like you can get an X-ray for free. I know. It's like such an old person thing, but like it's real.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just
amazing.
free. Like your first year of enrolling, everything is free because they first want to make sure you're okay and they want to see if you have anything wrong with you.
Pre-existing conditions.
Exactly.
Or,
So your whole first year, every single thing is free, and then the next year, after you pay your taxes, is when they start like charging you a little bit. But even still, it's like $10 for an X-ray. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
So yeah,
that is
another
so sad.
important
Cancer
reason.
from getting X-rays for fun.
It's free. X-ray my whole body.
Yeah, like, and then check everything just in case.
I'll be back next week.
But yeah, so we were there, and then the typhoon hit, which is weird because generally by this time, I know it's like typhoon season, but it hits a different area of Japan. Like we're near, like I said, Mount Fuji, so all the weather is usually redirected in a different way. This hit directly onto us and into the airport, which is like the only international airport. 3 of them are like in a row, so they hit all of them.
Yeah.
Everything was ground stopped. I've never seen it before. And I was on an I was on a United flight, and this is the first time I've ever received this notice, but they're like, we can change your flight up to 22 days. Whenever you can leave, get out, because we don't know when you can leave.
Oh my god.
And it's dumb because in Japan they're used to it, so they're actually like pretty minute by minute accurate. So honestly, when they can do domestic flights, they just take off. Like it's like not that scary to them. But every international flight was like completely down. And we stayed for like an extra 4 days. It was the first time I think Mike ever experienced a typhoon, so he was like, it was crazy because the house shakes, even though the house is, it's kind of meant to because there are a lot of earthquakes in Japan, so it's made so
like
that the
on
suspension,
rollers.
you're supposed to feel it. It's supposed to like wave back and forth a little bit. The weird thing is a typhoon making it do that is like kind of scary because it's from the ground. So you can tell like it was really kind of taking force. And then we were in our newer house, so everything was fine, obviously. But the older house was fucked up. The roof is gone. It's not like nothing bad happened. Like it's not just a roof. There's just like these little, I don't know, these they're called kawara in Japanese. I don't know what they're called in English, but they're like roofing parts. They all just like flung off, and it was kind of pretty, to be honest. Like my mom took pictures, and I was like, oh,
Very poetic.
it was very poetic. It was like kind of scary in the right way. You get like chills in the right way. The rain flew like upwards, which I've never seen before because we were in the eye, and I've never been in that situation before. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was fun because like at the end, everything's fine. Like everybody's still okay, obviously. But I think the weird thing that happens is, and this is really disgusting, but there are a lot of like dead frogs because it's exactly the season where they're supposed to be around, so they all got like flung up in the air.
It's like one of the plagues from the Bible. Raining dead frogs.
They're just like
Raining up.
yeah.
they're kind of like everywhere.
I have a question for you about your new home. So you said you're near Mount Fuji, and my knowledge of Japan is very limited, but I am obsessed with it, sort of. So
Come visit.
Are you
Everybody.
I really
near
want to. Like next summer.
Okihagara?
Oh yes.
So-
yeah, I am. I'm really close.
So I used to date this guy that was Japanese. Please take me back. Also, and he took me to Japan.
Yes.
And I got to like see all this stuff, and I was kind of obsessed with like Okihagara, like the suicide forest there, because it's like this weird dark occult type thing. I don't know, and it like calls you or whatever. So we went by Mount Fuji, which is like a huge spiritual, like I guess icon of Japan, right? Yeah, and underneath it is the suicide forest. So I took a picture of it, and my boyfriend at the time was like driving, and he like smacked my phone out of my hand. He was like, "Don't delete that off your phone." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "It's gonna bring bad energy, like blah 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 blah."
Oh wow, yeah.
And I was like, "Really?" And
Damn,
he was
he
like,
knows.
"Yeah." He's like, "You have to
He's, like,
delete
really
it."
Japanese.
And I
Can
was
confirm. I met him.
I was
real.
like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, it's not like demons following you. It's like bad luck for the rest of your life. Like nothing good will ever happen to you." And since I can confirm, we broke up after that, and life has been horrible. Please take me back.
Oh my God, Natalia. This is the reason why you wanted to get on the podcast. Have a wide audience to find him. I can just DM him for you. It's okay.
If you're watching this, I'm genuinely sorry for everything that happened.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
I'm just kidding.
I will say that is literally the best explanation I've ever heard, because Japan is really interesting. They're not really religious. It's more that they're traditional. Like my family is a shrine family, so to speak. And
Like
we're,
Shinto?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But we're not like religious. It's not a religion. We just do a lot of traditional things over and over and over again. So it's more a matter of like, we just want to keep it in the family and we don't want like our offspring to forget. And it's not it's
traditions.
More, it's more traditions.
It's like Christmas or something. You don't actually think
Yes.
Santa is real.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a fun thing.
How dare you?
Excuse me.
Exactly. And it's also the same way because we also have a really big like karmic yin yang belief. So everything is very it's spiritual, and it's very much about like your understanding of it and your personal understanding of it. So Japan's really self-aware. They never think it's like really God. Like some people obviously believe in it, but it's not like we really think there are so many gods. Like we even believe in a toilet god because we're polytheistic.
I don't believe in that. I don't even know what it is, but I believe in it.
It's like just conceptually, it's supposed to be like you have to take care of and clean everything that you
it's
use.
discipline.
Yeah, because you're like excreting something. So same. I know. I'm going to hell. It's okay. I'm going to hell. It's fine. But it's just it's karmic. It's supposed to be karmic. So that concept of calling on to bad spirits, it's not like a demon. It's not like you're getting possessed. It's not like you're getting cursed. It's more a matter of you don't understand that realm, and you were almost like warned enough by other people. So why are you trying to enter that world? It's more that. It's really not supposed to be that menacing, but it is true that there is kind of a belief that if you call on to bad things, they're attracted to it, and they like dark things and sad things and depressed things. So you have like a tendency to like kind of call onto it. So you open your like heart's door, and then they enter, and then you're kind of you call onto your bad luck.
I also think too, like if you're constantly surrounding yourself with like suicide and like depression and like dark, like the occult type things, like you're kind of like gonna be probably depressed and sad because you're surrounded by
like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, and that's also kind of like I don't want to speak on behalf of this, but Japan's, in my opinion, a little bit slow with mental health, and it's always been because we have really long-standing beliefs that like, it's like because my heart is diseased, not like I have thought problems. So we explain a lot of those issues with like, like I'm just like I'm not depressed or like chemically anything is wrong. It's more that I'm in like a spiritually bad place, so maybe perhaps like I need to change or something. So that's how we like explain away a lot of stuff. Obviously, a lot of that's changing, but. Yeah, so Aokigahara is not such a horribly dark place. I actually literally only live an hour away from it. It's beautiful. It's a sea of beautiful trees that are all different shades of green, which is weird because I can't really see that color very well. But it surrounds all these different mountains, and it brings on a very cold breeze because it's coming in from the south side of Mount Fuji, and that's why it's a sea of trees. That's
and there's
why they
like an
call it
ice
that.
cave in there that people visit.
Oh
right?
no, I don't know. I don't even know about that. But that makes a lot of sense because there is like this weird current that flows through there, which is also why it's kind of like dark and shady and sad.
And your
and
cell
only
phone
certain-
doesn't work in there.
Yeah, there's no reception in there whatsoever. And obviously, like if it's made so that you end
Compasses
up wandering.
don't work in there.
Yeah,
I know a
there's
lot about this.
What? Compasses?
Yeah,
compasses don't work in it.
Magnets.
So it's also, I think there's like a translation of like the sea, like a sea of trees.
Yes,
or
it's
something.
a sea. Yeah, it's a sea of
The
trees.
sea of trees. There's so many of these tiny like trees where you get really disoriented because you can lose the path and
Nothing looks the same.
Nothing looks the same. Your
Yeah.
phone doesn't work. Compasses don't work. So it's kind of like an anomaly. I think that's why there's a lot of like
Mystique around it. A lot of
mystique
people
and
love
suspicion
it. Yeah,
because it's like,
and
this
as
place.
as totally as like a non-believer, it's very interesting.
It's
like,
an eerie. Yeah, when I was there, I was like, this is weird because all of Japan is pretty much like flat. And then you see this giant Mount Fuji that's just like rising up. It's just, you can see it from pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the magnets don't work there because they all grew on top of the volcano Baltic whatever that came out of Mount Fuji. So that magnet is completely screwing up everything in there. So you can't use anything in there. Like nothing
I won't
works.
be going there.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're not, that's the thing. You're not supposed to want to go there, and at the same time, like you're not. I don't know how to
if you do
explain
say
it.
you want to go there, people are like, either get away from me, like something's wrong with you, or they're like, what? No, don't even say that out loud. It's kind of like Voldemort. Like
It's
you
kind of
don't
taboo.
say it out
it's
loud.
taboo.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's it's weird. Like I would never go there or do anything just because like I don't really believe in it, but like I don't need any bad luck.
I just love like haunted things.
So do I. Oh my god, I grew up in New Jersey. Weird NJ was like my most favorite thing on earth. Like I love creepy shit, but for some reason when I go to Japan, it actually scares me. Like here, it's just fun, and I love watching scary movies. I cannot watch Japanese Grudge. Like I can't watch that because my house looks like that. I fucking live there.
Well, Japanese horror is great. We saw a Japanese horror film last night. I force all of my friends to do a lot of things that they don't want to do because I'm like, you need this.
It was interesting. What was it called?
It was called Jinro, like the Jinro game. It's like, you know that werewolf game where you, like there's werewolves and there's villagers?
Yeah.
It was
I love that game.
Yeah, but it was a movie and
don't
it was
ruin
real.
it for people in case they want to
Oh
watch
my
it.
god, I want to watch it right
Need
now.
to see it.
It's called J Edge was the production company that made it, and it's on Amazon Prime. And so they were having a showing to like raise money for Little Tokyo, because they're trying to build up some parts of Little Tokyo. With
I'm about
people
that
in the
life.
community.
Yeah.
And so they had this showing of the movie. So it was called Jinro Game then, and J Edge Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Damn, cool. Sold.
But I heard you're moving to Japan.
I'm jealous.
Or no, you had told me at one point that you always wanted to go back
Yes.
to Japan because you think it would be a good place to raise a family.
Yeah, LA, I can't
Hint.
logically do it. What?
Hint, hint.
Well, I mean, not soon because I'm so dumb. I make dumb decisions. No, and Mike does too. It's not just me. He's
You
a
sound
sucker
like my
too.
mom. You're ready. Damn.
Like it's just no, it's weird because I said it in a video or something where my mom had me at my age right now, so I'm kind of weirded out by it that I'm definitely not ready. I think LA really gave me Peter Pan syndrome. I do not feel my age. Like I feel really like young.
Oh,
Like, I
everyone
feel
here's
like
a
kid.
child. If you're
Yeah.
40, single, it's normal. You're a child.
Right?
The
Yeah.
age that people get married
Yeah.
and have kids has gotten so pushed everywhere.
Totally.
LA
Yeah.
especially.
No one looks their age here.
No.
Oh my
I
god.
have
no.
no perception of
But
it.
I believe in it though. Oh yeah, sorry. Who?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, I also think if you're a guy here and you're like 40 and have health insurance and a car, like you can date like a 19-year-old supermodel. Solid. Yeah. So like people don't really want to like grow up.
And it's weird. Like I actually like it. Or to a degree, I like it. I like feeling young. Like I love playing video games with Mike. And
It's like a college world.
I think
we're in a
yes.
fake. LA is a fake,
college,
world.
fake post college,
Yeah.
definitely. I feel like
agree
it's
with
totally
that.
suspended, and I wanted it. You know, I want to just hang out and play and not have too many responsibilities. But LA, I think that dichotomy though in Japan, my cousin is only a year older than me, and she had a baby, and it's just really freaking me out to be honest. Like I love it, and it's great, but she looks so young. Like we were kind of all in the same bubble. Like we went to Disneyland last year, and we were all like doing really silly, dumb shit. So I'm like, how did you get pregnant? And now it came out of you, and you still look the same. And
I know. It's wild when your cousins have babies. My cousin just had a baby. Mimi,
It's
someone in your
freaky.
family just had a baby, right?
Yeah, I have a sister-in-law now, and yeah, so my brother is a dad, and it was kind of an Insta family because she had an 8-year-old from a previous marriage, so like I had Insta niece, and then Hendrix was born 3 weeks ago.
What a cute name.
Maybe I do want babies.
Right?
Yeah, he's really cute. He's a
Yeah,
cutie.
it definitely puts things into a different perspective. I don't think it did anything necessarily. It just simply freaked me out as this kind of overgrown child adult person. But I don't think I can for like 3 years. I have to detox first.
I think LA is toxic.
And my brother's 3 years younger than me, so for him to like, he bought a house, he got married, and I'm like,
He does.
Where does he live?
Where does he live?
in Northern California. So like,
What?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to say like Iowa.
This is stressing me out.
I know. I just got
no.
Jamie earlier was
he's in,
asking
like,
us for the loudest noises.
Modesto.
That was it.
yeah, we're screaming. Yeah,
People talking about having a family and a house right now is the last thing I need.
yeah.
Well, that's why.
High school
Natalia, drink your wine.
Please, my ex-Japanese boyfriend, I hope you're watching this. I'm ready.
I'm dying.
I want to go to Japan so bad, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
who
not
said that?
pregnant.
No,
What?
Oh no!
Oh, she's like, well, Sammy Jo.
No. I want to hear about Miami because that was really cool.
It was cool. I went to Miami, actually, Aussie. I work with the hair company. They flew me and Clay out for an event, which was really cool because I've done a few things with them before, but it was like the first time I've gotten invited to like an event to do something like YouTube related. And
nice.
Congratulations. That's really cool.
It was fun. We had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers. That's amazing. That's a lot of hard work. Good job.
The little milestone. But it was also my birthday, which was fun.
You didn't drink it.
Oh, am I supposed to?
Yeah, it's bad luck.
Just do you. You don't have to drink it if you don't want to.
Sorry, it was peer pressure.
I support it.
Yeah, that was fun. We were only there for like 2 days, but we were just there for the event and my birthday, and it was fun. And we went to an ice bar. Have you done that before?
You
I never
never
done
done
that. We wore like the cute little things, but it was in Miami. Like, who does that? But,
It's the most Miami thing I've ever heard. Come to our ice bar.
but no one was there.
The only time to wear coats.
We were the only ones there, which was really fun because we just got to like mess around and kind of have a bar to ourselves, and no one could like talk to me. It was like perfect scenario. Yeah, so that was recent travel. Then like the next weekend, went to Canada, and I had never been to Canada.
You
It was
met his
really
family
fun.
for
Met
the first
whole
time,
family.
right? Oh my God.
They're amazing.
Awesome.
It was like a dream world because
That's your
it's
first
so,
time to meet your husband's parents.
Yeah.
That's so
I've met
you
them
met
on
them on-
FaceTime,
yeah,
but like they don't
Skype
have
and
passports to come here, and so it was the first time we got to go to Canada.
What part of Canada is it?
It was like an hour from Ottawa. He lives in the country, so like middle of nowhere. So like the stars were so bright. His friend like took a photo with a really good camera where you could see all the stars like beyond what you could see with your
that's so
eye. It was so amazing.
Are there like huskies everywhere?
No, not that I saw.
Natalia owns a husky.
Does everyone
for
live in like a
backstory.
log cabin and like all the men
It's-
have beards?
See, that's what I would picture. I pictured like snow, cold, but like I don't know, when did we go? September. No,
It was September.
We were in a really weird time where it was just too cold to do all the water things we wanted to do. We did kayak, but like with our clothes on, and his brother accidentally fell in the water. That sucked. But that footage, that was real.
Yeah,
that was real. He
real,
really
yeah.
fell in really hard.
sucks.
I'm glad that happened because like
Yeah.
that gave him good content. But
Yeah,
we wanted to do like all these water things, and it was too cold for that. But it was like right before fall, so the leaves hadn't changed, so I got ripped off a little bit. But we'll go. We're gonna go for the holidays and do some snow activities, and that's probably where we'll see the huskies out mushing. But his mom has a garden, so I like picked a carrot from the. I've never picked a carrot fresh, and I ate it. Like just wiped the dirt. Like everything's fresh. It's not like America. The meat was good. Best bacon I've ever had. Best syrup, like real maple syrup. It was like. I had culture shock. It was amazing. It was really fun.
I can't believe you ate a carrot out of the
I ate a carrot out of the ground. And
you
beans.
scared?
We picked bean sprouts. They were purple actually until you cook them and then they're green. Like we picked all the fresh vegetables. And did you say was I scared?
Were you scared?
No, because
Did you eat the leaves also? Like I
didn't eat leaves. No, like you can eat anything in the garden. They weren't sprayed with anything. Like nothing. You don't even have to wash it. Like when. Clay put that in perspective. When he's in Canada, you pick a berry outside and you eat it because nothing is sprayed with stuff. It's not America. Like this table is probably dirty. We know this table is probably dirtier. That's a different like, story. The dirt,
I wiped it down.
the dirt on the carrot, like that's earth. Like that's actually fine. Even if there's some bugs, you wipe it. Like that's actually fine.
Oh my god.
It's a whole other world.
I'm
there.
not
It's
stunned
really
by this
fun.
because I work on a farm, but I'm glad that you got to
It was
experience
my
it.
first. I only played Farmville in high school, so it was my first farm experience.
Wait, I need to know, when you pulled it out, did it just come out like clean?
So
or does
it
have
was a
stuff
long
on it?
carrot. And I had to like twist it out a little bit and then pull it like pulling a tooth out or something. It was really
So
satisfying.
I love people like popping zits and like cysts and
Wait,
stuff.
wait,
so like
wait,
pulling
like
a
that, it
carrot out of the
feels so
ground
good.
I
to
know
me
you
is just
like
like
that, yeah.
describe it.
I
know, like that.
It feels so good. It literally feels like pulling out like a blackhead with a blackhead
that.
strip. Like
I
it feels like it.
love
Yeah,
that.
you
I've
can
dated
feel
people
it.
before for their back knee.
Mimi and I don't even like farting, so
I have
where this is not the conversation for
Farting
us.
feels so. Are you crazy?
Like plucking.
all the time. I just
Plucking.
farted 5 times.
It was very clean farts. I don't smell it. I didn't hear it.
Remind
not
me
into
later to
farting.
show you I have a really good video. It was in my time hop from like college. I don't want to like gross anyone out, but it's so good.
Popping?
I had a guinea pig in college with a cyst. I won't say anything graphic, but I'll show you later. My friend is like going to vet school.
Like when a hair
She like
follicle.
took care of it. That's all I'll say.
Is the guinea pig okay?
Like my friend was like, she's probably in so much pain. She has like this golf ball cyst on her little golf ball sized body. So like. But she helped her. She was like going to school to be a vet, so this it was helpful.
I feel better about that.
This is the PG.
I'm slightly better about that. It was medical. It wasn't for fun.
Yeah, right. Well, we had fun, but she needed it. She needed it.
Well, I feel better that she knew what she was doing.
Or else I would have had to take her to the vet, and it would have cost money anyway. But like, you'll love this.
I'm
Like,
so
it took
excited.
an hour.
Look, it's only natural because we're social animals, humans. So grooming and things like that. If that doesn't like peak a part of your brain and you don't know what's going on, then like you're probably just not like gonna be survive.
I like it. I like how
Mimi, you and I can live in a sterile environment and we'll be fine.
Mimi, have you farted yet in front of Jamie?
No.
What?
No.
Has he farted in front of you?
No.
Really?
Whoa, what kind of relationship
Somebody needs to break the ice.
I like that.
Look, I come from a family that is very private about that kind of stuff.
Me too.
And that's a boundary
Well,
for me.
so did Clay. He said you could fart as much as you want. I will never fart in front.
Wait,
now?
Yeah.
He does, but I've never heard them. Except for once where he was still in work mode and he just farted next to me. He's like, I didn't know that I was home. I'm like,
really
or else
cute.
we'll like hide it under the covers to like try to trap
No,
the
don't
smell.
do that.
But we'll
It's
still,
worse.
Then you trap it and
then
doesn't
you
get to
Bacon.
get out. Then it's more obvious
to add
because
different
someone,
smells.
the second they lift up the blanket, it's like,
No, but
well,
we'll announce it. We'll be like, oh,
been
like we're
sitting there.
farting, but like, don't lift the
We're
blanket.
farting
It's
at the same
happening.
time.
But, like, hide it. Don't hear it. Don't smell it. But like, at least. This is so much better than the beginning when you have to like pretend like you're a girl, you don't fart, and you have to like go in the room or
that's
hold
bullshit.
it.
Never
It
did
hurts
that.
so
I'm
bad.
gonna
shut that down now. It's bullshit.
My mom told me about the first
no.
date with my stepdad. She farted, like accidentally.
Just because that happens.
And then
she's human.
He tells me the story like he looked over at her like, and she was like, whatever.
and then they got married.
Yes.
Romantic.
That's romantic.
So
romantic
romantic.
farts.
Yeah.
Break the ice on date one.
Right. It was
so
definitely
easy.
the smells.
Well, and then the week after you got home from Canada, you went to Vegas for
We went to
we all went to
Vegas
Vegas
for
for James'
Lauren's boyfriend's birthday.
Yeah, Lauren's boyfriend. He doesn't have a name anymore. Lauren, talk about it. Did you love it?
James DeAngelis turned.
How old did he turn?
He turned 24.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Little babies.
No.
Little babies.
I know, so young
And
fresh.
they won so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I can't believe it.
How'd
I've
you
never
win?
actually
How
won
much
money,
money did you
in
win?
Vegas. I didn't win money, but I
The boys
I
all
got
won like
close to
$1,000
even.
Yeah, Steve won
Like close
so
to
much
money.
money.
Yeah,
Cards?
James won like $900.
War.
Oh, not bad, not bad.
Wait, no, not poker. What was the first one we played?
Blackjack?
And
And
a little bit, and then war was the
War
winner.
is the most simple game ever, and they won so much
But
money.
Steve was like, all right, I'll put all this in. If I lose it, I lose
made
it.
me
It
so
doubles.
nervous.
Steve has like a risky personality.
But it
like,
paid off.
It doubled. He got lucky.
No way.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
like
no,
bet
he ended up,
everything he had,
like,
and
getting
it
a lot of
panned
money
out.
back. I know.
Oh my god, that's like his
It made me so anxious the whole time.
Let me put all my eggs in one
panned out.
basket.
I have to walk away when he does stuff.
I lost my money before I can even gamble with it. I think I took out $60 to gamble, and like when I was like, all right, you know what? I'll try this. I'll get lucky. I'll win, and it just wasn't in my purse, so I already lost it.
Oh my
And
god.
Clay won
no,
enough,
no,
and he's like, here's my winnings. Here's 60, so he reimbursed me, and then I lost that.
Love about this story is that someone else found those and they're lucky. So like
I
you
hope
were
so.
lucky for someone else.
But if they were gonna
karma.
pickpocket me, why didn't they steal like my credit card and everything else? Like, how did $60 in cash just disappear?
because it was their lucky
or was it
day.
not meant to be?
They just wanted a
It was their lucky day from you.
Can't blame
But
him.
do you know what's not a gamble? Is our
my gosh.
second
Sponsor.
Thank you so much. I was trying to think so hard of a fucking segue
really
for
good at
that. I
these
couldn't
segues.
do it. Yeah, you're
I'm
amazing.
gonna take a quick pee break while that happens.
Go
Ooh,
for
I have to
it.
pee too, actually.
Yeah. Pee break, anybody?
I'd like to go pee.
Yes.
Go pee.
yeah,
wine
go
break.
for it. Pee and wine break.
Girls don't pee.
Oh, I pee.
It's all bullshit.
It's rainbow.
I talk about my pee constantly because it's always a problem.
You do.
It's glitter.
Well, boys, when you're constantly on the go and grinding away at work, out with friends, gambling, as we were just saying, you might be too busy to think about upgrading your style or your apartment. But that's why you should think about getting hooked up with a Box of Awesome from Bespoke Post every month. The Box of Awesome Bespoke Post guys are out scouting for quality and unique products to send to you, and you can experience it too right now at boxofawesome.com. So obviously, Bespoke Post is a guy-centric thing, but I mean, if you're a lady, like you can
There's cool
still sign up
stuff.
for it. Yeah, there's cool shit. The sleigh thing that Steve has, is that from Bespoke Post?
I think so.
Okay, I've seen them like get stuff from it, and it's like they
It's
have
really
cool.
cool.
Shit. Yeah,
There's a really great bag. I think Steve got.
yeah. There's like bags. They have like beer, like distillery
Is that
stuff.
where the blanket is
too.
from? This blanket, is that from
Yes.
Bespoke?
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
This
Yeah,
blanket.
so there's cool shit, male or female.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
That's a nice blanket.
So if you just are like looking for something to amp your style up a little bit, especially if you've just moved an apartment or whatever, I know I struggle with that. So Bespoke Post is an awesome way to do that. And to get started, you're going to want to visit boxofawesome.com, and you're going to answer a few short questions. They'll kind of scope out what your style is like. Whether you're in search of the perfect drink, a well-kept pad, or jet setting in style, Bespoke Post improves your life one box at a time. Each box goes for under $50, but has more than $70 worth of unique gear waiting inside for you. And that's totally true, because I've seen them get stuff that's like expensive. And for the amount that they're paying for it, it's like totally fucking worth it. And at the first of each month, you'll receive an email with your box details, and you actually have 5 days to change colors and sizes, so you can kind of like choose what you want, which is cool. And if you're not feeling that month's box, you can just skip it. So you don't even need it. Like if you're like, I don't want this stuff, you don't even need to get it. From barrel aging kits to limited edition cigars, weekender bags to classy DOP kits, Bespoke Post offers essential goods and guidance for the modern man or woman, if you're into that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I would sign up for Bespoke Post. I looked at it. It looked pretty cool. So to receive 20% off your first subscription box, go to boxofawesome.com. and enter code PINE at checkout. That's PINE. That's boxawesome.com, code PINE for 20% off your first box. Bespoke Post themed boxes for guys that give a damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Guys or gals
or gals
that give a damn.
or non-binary folks.
Yes.
You know what?
Folks with
Whatever.
an X. Mhm.
If you want cool shit, sign up for Bespoke Post.
Yeah.
And there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
Yay.
Sounds fantastic.
Great ad read.
I have to pee really bad too, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do that.
Okay.
Me.
Let me see. Are there?
Yeah, Mimi, I think you had asked some people on the subreddit.
I did.
Yeah.
So I have all their questions right here. I'm trying to find a.
Well, I think you
fun
should
one.
probably hit up the one that everyone was like upvoting, the first one on right by your finger.
We might save that one
You
for
want
the
to save
end.
it for the end?
I feel like
What is it?
we were talking about this. Should I tell it, Reina, or do you think this is not the right climate anymore to tell this story?
Why is it
I think it's-
X-rated? What's happening?
A little
It was sexy very fast, is how I put it. But
Reina, you tell your perspective of because you knew
I mean,
Steve
we can
before
also
I
wait.
did.
That's okay.
well, okay,
cool
wait,
too. We can
wait.
wait.
Wait. Let me tell the story before we actually start because I don't really because all I know is from
Oh, honey, we're live though, so.
yeah from like just like maybe 1 degree separation because I was just
Right.
like watching it happen. I think what was it?
I
You
saw.
guys
Okay, I'll just
hung
tell
out.
it.
Yeah.
I'll tell it. It's fine. If we, you know what? If it's too
Sorry,
raunchy,
what
we
did I
can
miss?
edit it out later.
It's not raunchy. It's not raunchy.
Okay, I'm like, wait, I just don't want anyone to say anything. I don't want to say.
Okay, so basically, what happened? This is how I met Steve. I've been.
This is happening.
I have my own version of this story too.
Yeah. Okay. Because I lived with you at the time.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth on this podcast. We are live. Okay. So
I'm so confused.
okay, it's not that bad. I think I'm just nervous about it because
'Cause no one knows and you've
Nobody
hyped
knows it, and like, okay. So what happened was I interned at SourceFed when they first started, which I talked about in the last podcast, so I won't go back into that. But so that's how I met Audrey, and Audrey's one of my best friends. Love her very much. She's a lovely lady. Shout out to Audrey.
I like Audrey.
Yeah.
5 stars.
5 stars.
Would be friends with
Yeah.
again.
Again.
So she had posted a photo of you, her, and Steve. And I
Yeah.
texted her and I was like, hey, who's that tall guy in your photo? Tell him I want to fuck him. And I didn't, I like wasn't really.
This is true.
No, it was straight up.
This was
word for word. Word for word.
This was
This
an
is why
interesting
I'm like
time in
nervous
Alyssa's
about
life.
telling this story. And so
Bold. I like it.
I love it. Yes.
it gets bolder. So then,
It's only up from here.
yeah. So then
More wine.
Audrey was like, I work with him and he's single, but I don't think you'd be interested because he's younger than you. And I was like, well, how old is he? And she told me his age. And I was like, oh, I'm probably not interested in anything like long term, but tell him I want to have sex with him. And so then she at work the next day was like, hey, Steve, I have a friend that wants to have sex with you. And he was like, again, I was younger then, and it was a different time, and I don't regret it. And she was like, oh yeah, I have a friend that wants to have sex with you, and he was like, haha, very funny, like show me the picture. And so then she showed him a picture of me, and he was like, you're fucking with me, like you're lying to me, aren't you? Like there's no way. And she was like, no, I'm serious, like she really does. And so then he added me on Instagram. And then,
modern day love story.
And then he found me. He found me on Facebook and added me on Facebook. And I was on a wine tasting trip with some friends. You got to make it happen sometimes. And
Did you follow back before he added you?
No.
Adding someone on Facebook is sad. Keep going.
Okay, so he added me. This was a different time, Natalia. So he added me on Facebook. I added him back. I was on a wine tasting trip at the time. So I see him adding me back, and I'm like, oh, he's interested. It's about to go down. And then he DM'd me, and he was like, hey, I'm Audrey's friend. Like, how are you? And
That's
literally,
his voice.
No.
Yeah, and literally,
How are you?
Yeah.
How are you?
It gets better. So then I see this, and I'm drunk on a wine tasting tour, and I was like, this is bullshit. Like, this isn't what I need right now. And so I DM him back, and I'm like, hey, my name's Alyssa. I'm Audrey's friend. I already know that you know what's up. Here's my phone number. I'm not good at like Facebook messaging. I'm never on this app. I just want to have sex with you. So just text me and like tell me like time and a place. So then this is what I still have the DMs. And
I hope they're part of your vows.
yeah, right.
Framed.
This is the version of the story that I know.
Yeah,
story.
it's the real version. And so then he told me later that he like read it and was like, what the fuck? And so he
like marriage material.
Yeah, he immediately texted
Guy's
me.
fantasy.
Like I had sent him the Facebook DM back, and he texted me within like 2 minutes and was like, hey, this is Steve. This is my number. Like, this is my home address. Like,
Why aren't you here yet?
Security.
and then we had set up a time and a place, and then he canceled on me and was like, and you know why he
got cold
canceled?
feet.
No, he canceled, and Reina knows the story. I don't even know if we can tell it without his permission being
No,
here
go
for
ahead.
why he canceled.
You're fine.
Okay.
No,
Go ahead. I feel like any guy
He-
would not be able to
Well,
deliver under those circumstances.
I'm sure it was rough. I was
a lot of
ready.
pressure.
And
Yeah, that's real.
and then so he had canceled on me, and I was like pissed. And I was like, this was his one chance.
Yeah.
I don't even know him. Like, screw this. Like, I can do whatever I want to do. I'm an independent woman. Like, I don't need to like work around his schedule. He should be like catering to me. And so I was like, that's fine. Like, we're just gonna cancel, and like that's that. And then he was like,
Felicia.
yeah, bye Felicia. And then he was like, no, I swear, like I have to work late. Like it's not like it's. Of course, I want to meet up. And then he rescheduled with me. And I remember right before I went into his apartment complex, I was on the phone with Audrey, and I was like, this is very out of character for me. Like, I've never done this before. And I was like, maybe like I should just like, he canceled on me once. Like, maybe I should just cancel on him, like even the score, and then never talk ever again. And she was like, I mean, it's up to you, but like, don't be nervous. And then I went in and we had sex, and now we're engaged.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
That's great. It worked out. I like it.
All right, I'm gonna throw Steve under the bus.
Yeah.
When this was going down, this is when Super Panic Frenzy was alive, obviously, because it was the three of us. And as this was happening, he literally thought Audrey was tricking him. So he'd come in every day and be like, no way. No fucking way. And I'm like, no, she's real. Like, she's fucking real. Every day. And then he would, like, obviously it was on your Instagram, and it was before, like, stories existed, and, like, I think Snapchat was, like, kind of not that great yet. So,
There were no
he would,
filters.
yeah. Exactly. But he would constantly, you could tell because he's, like, zooming in on the pictures. He'd be like, no fucking way. That's so no fucking. It is kind of cute. Now it's cute. Back then it was just like no. Like, I'm like,
Was he
an
waiting
elaborate
for-
trick. Please don't date Alyssa. Is like what I was thinking. I was like, no, you're not good enough for her, so you might as well think she's fake.
I love you.
But he was actually really cute and sweet about it, which is why I thought it wasn't, like, in my head, it's not that raunchy at all, because, I mean, you guys ended up together anyway.
Yeah.
You
And
knew
it's
what you wanted. You got
yes,
what you wanted.
That's exactly what I was thinking. She knew exactly what she wanted. So did he. And I thought that was, like, really great and bold of both of them. So I don't really see it as anything weird.
Thanks,
It was,
Reina.
yeah, it was very nice.
Skip
It
the
was also
games.
really refreshing to watch.
I feel like everybody do everything at your own pace. Obviously, like I know people that date for a really long time before they have sex. For me personally, at that time in my life, I just felt like once you've seen someone naked, you already like know
Yeah.
70% of them.
Or the
So,
chemistry.
The chemistry.
Hold on,
Yeah,
one
or the
second.
chemistry, because sometimes too you really like someone's personality, and then you have sex with them, and you're like, this isn't gonna work.
I feel like that strategy works for you, but like that I don't think that I can't see that working for me. Like I would reach out to someone and be like, I just want to fuck you, and they would be like, you're a slut, like with tons of STDs. Like no.
But that's why I say
Don't
Tell me one guy that would reject
Hold on,
that.
everyone,
is hilarious
it was kind
for me
of a joke,
because
and
I
the
know
fact that
Natalia-
everyone's getting sad is making me angry right now. Okay, I'm not a charity.
I don't want people to talk to you like that.
You guys need to hear this story then. Okay, our
Okay.
tour guide from Oktoberfest
Oh, no.
came to Los Angeles, okay? And he, can I tell this story?
yeah, it's okay.
Okay, this story makes you look great, so don't act like you don't like it, okay? And now I'm getting aggressive because you guys triggered me. All right, hold on. Let me take a breath. Okay, so our tour guide from Oktoberfest came, who literally only saw Alyssa and I in dirndls, which are like hide all your imperfections and just put your tits in your face on display. So it's like good for women's rights. So so he comes into town and we go out for drinks with him with our whole group from Oktoberfest. Audrey was there also. And we all start kind of drinking or whatever. And he's like, I mean, he has a girlfriend, so honestly, fuck this guy. But he was like kind of
he's not
flirting. Yeah, good. I hope your girlfriend's watching. Your boyfriend is trash. He's like kind of trying to flirt with like everyone in the group. And he keeps like talking to Alyssa and being like, oh my God, Alyssa, you're like so beautiful. And like, oh, like you're so kind. Da, da, da. And then Alyssa's right here at the bar, right next to me. Oh, Alyssa, like, you know, you're just like this light shines out of you. And then he turns and looks at me and he's like, you've been hurt before.
Where that was the guy.
Yes. And he's like,
So this was really recent.
something's happened to you.
Yeah, this happened on Wednesday.
This was this weekend or the Wednesday. And I'm like, what? I'm literally wearing the same outfit that I am now today. Okay, because to me
With
this
or
is a
without the
winning
earrings?
outfit with the knife
So
earrings.
show the earrings.
I don't know where they
For
are.
our
He
YouTube
grabbed your
viewers.
knife earring and was like,
Look.
who's hurt you?
Look,
Like stroking your
knife
earring.
earrings, okay? And he's like, he's like, yeah, like I'm like, how can what are you talking about? Like I'm fine. He's like, you know, you just everything you're wearing, everything you're wearing, and I'm wearing this jacket, and I'm like, oh, this okay, and so I take it off like this, and he's like, why don't you just like, you know, roll up your sleeve, and he's like, show some skin.
What?
Oh my God, I'm gonna kill him.
I know. I know. I was so
triggered.
I was
God, I hope
so
he's not
mad,
watching
but like also like
I'll kill him.
I was like, my first reaction was to be angry, like you're a douchebag, like I'm cool, right? And then my second reaction was like, do I look just like a pathetic pile of trash that needs to show more skin?
No. Do you guys not understand like how gross and cheesy that is? You're just like,
I told the story to someone else and they were like, he was hitting on you.
Yeah,
that's like
that's
that's
how
like
I
a
interpret
line.
that.
No,
He's
that's an attack.
he's saying something that's like, I don't know.
who hits on people like that?
I know the way
Change
you
your
talk
ways.
to
Well, like if you
Yeah.
hold that up a few
Yeah, what
inches
the
and you saw your
fuck?
shoulder, that's gonna change who you are.
That's
Like
gross.
I don't know what his deal was, but like the way you should hit on me is like, oh my God, here's a $5,000 purse. Like, let's go on a date. And then I'm like, okay, marriage material, what's up? Don't like neg me to the point of making me feel like this cool satin jacket is like sad and depressed. This is cool.
It's a dope jacket.
It's dope, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's reversible.
Even fucking better.
Oh, look at those pockets.
Oh my God, that's
See,
dope.
now I'm suspicious of everybody because I'm like, oh, everyone's being nice to me because they think that like I have been shat on by like all these guys.
This is Natalia's personality, though. Is too many people were complimenting me that night, so Natalia turns around and goes, "Alyssa's mean," like trying to like level the play.
I'm like, you're engaged, okay? Like you're off the market. I need these compliments for me, all right? Like even though he has a girlfriend and is a shitty person, I still can get ego points from this, right?
True.
This is
I
true.
feel that. Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna serve it to you real 100% of the time.
And that's why I'm friends with you.
Respect.
Yeah.
And you're mean because other people like you more than me when we go out. It makes me mad.
these are amazing. First of all, we didn't even acknowledge them.
Yeah, no, I ate
Oh, I'm glad you like
It just
fucking
makes
good.
me nervous
I'm
because
eating
it
mine
looks
over here,
kind of
dude.
furry.
Yeah, they're not though, I
smells a little
promise.
It has caramel in it. Who brought this?
Oh, that's what
I did
Raina
from Tokyo.
Oh, stop.
They're literally
They're
called
so
Tokyo
cute.
Bananas. And every year they have different designs on them. It's basically like a little mini custard cake. It's like a tiny, tiny sponge cake.
You make it sound so cute.
I know.
It's cute.
It's apologizing for being too phallic, because otherwise, no. But this year there's a bow. Yes, there's a bow on it, and it's a girl.
Oh yeah.
This is a girl.
It's definitely a
I
girl.
know. It's definitely a girl.
While we eat these, Mimi, what is the next question that?
Well, actually, so Natalia, we just had you on a really serious episode, and someone wanted to know like how you felt doing that really serious scene, which was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
It was really,
It was
really
very
great.
convincing.
Yeah, you did it really
Yeah,
well.
you were
I wept.
fantastic.
Thank you. Well, how I felt about doing that scene. Without getting like nerdy here, I'm what most people would call a method actor. So if I take on a role or I'm doing something where the person is super sexualized, like I need to feel what that is like, because I'm kind of like a tomboy, lesbian, whatever I am, right?
Same.
So like Toy to me is like super sexualized. Sort of like there's a part of me that's like that, but not really. I'm uncomfortable with that. So
She's like oversexed.
she's over sexualized, yeah. And like even like I didn't have sexy clothes and stuff like that. I didn't really know how to approach that. So as I had been being Toy, like the lines between me as a person and Toy kind of blur, because it's like I started putting myself in situations that Toy would put herself in, and doing things that Toy would do, which is where a lot of my fun stories come from lately. But yeah, I feel like there's a part in every woman and every person also too, where sometimes you just kind of feel like you don't have anything else to offer the world besides like your physical shape. And that's what dating, especially with like Tinder and Bumble and like online dating and meeting people, can feel like all the time, because it's like people are just judging you based off of what you look like, or based off of like the sexual chemistry and connection, and that's something that I do feel a lot sometimes, like when you're being judged on the surface level, it starts to kind of be like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm also like a really dramatic and emotional person. Like I can go off on people. I can get sad. All of a sudden I cry at like every wedding. Sometimes like I'll see like sea otters and just start crying, you know? So it's not that like difficult for me to do, but I don't know. Do you guys ever feel like that? Like,
Yes.
Certain times of the month.
yeah.
I get
always. I
God.
feel like crying, just like
baby animals especially do.
Well,
it
you
to
know
me.
what it really
every single movie that's
Oh,
sad.
every movie
I just
ever.
always- it
every
always-
cartoon.
Yeah.
Steve before this is Alyssa. I've never told you this. So this is interesting.
No.
Steve before that scene came to me and he was like, everyone. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was like, everyone thinks that, you know, they hate you and they think that all you are is just like a sexual object. Like, how are you going to change people's minds? And then he shut the door. And then when he came back, like I just like had that ruminating in my head and just started, I don't know, like crying or doing whatever I was. And Steve, when he gave that speech, actually was looking into my eyes when he said that, and he was like saying it to me, I think. Natalia as his friend. So it was kind of, I don't know, I felt like it was like one of those places too, which is, there's a lot of them in Sugar Pine 7 where we like connect really as people, you know?
Yeah.
The reality and the scripted blur.
Yeah, and even though those aren't the same circumstances in our lives, like exactly,
There's crossover.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
crossover too.
absolutely.
So it was like, there was some reality to it.
There was, and actually that's one of the very, very few scenes I've ever had that I didn't cut it at all. It just played straight that entire 2 minutes that you guys were talking, and like there was no edits in there besides the little like B-roll that I laid over the middle of it. But like you guys just talked, and like I think that is like people really connected with that episode, and obviously it was because they see that like, yes, you're playing characters and there's like characters talking to each other, but there's also a lot of like reality crossover that people can connect with. And you guys were just talking to each other as like people. I thought
You
it was
must have
awesome.
been so freaked out when you saw that. You're like, here's Natalia, who's always making these like horrible, stupid sexual jokes, and then all of a sudden like just loses her mind.
Dude, it was awesome. Are you joking? It was fucking rad. Yeah, no.
You
I
did
think
a great job editing that.
Well,
that
it was
episode.
easy. You guys are all amazing, so it was not a problem.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, and along those lines, D-Work wants to know if any of us have ever dealt with insecurities about our personality, intelligence, and our traits outside of our appearance? And if so, like, how do we deal with that?
That's an interesting
Outside of
the
our
appearance.
Outside of our appearances.
That's an interesting topic for people that live in LA, because I feel like so much of LA is your appearance that you get judged on, not necessarily
Or
your
what you
personality.
do, or all those things.
And in the weirdest of ways, you do get to kind of put on a facade because of that. Like, I do find that in LA, I'm allowed to be this person that is more like job oriented. It's like, oh no, I'm asking who you know because this is a networking thing. Like, we're not just hanging out, and we all know that. So I feel like, in a way, it depends on the time and place, obviously. But like, knowing that everybody's like that makes me feel better, because I'm just like, yeah, we're here for business. Like, if we waste each other's time, that's a detriment to all of us, kind of thing.
Right.
And I'm really, really down with that. And I feel like being allowed to be that way is okay, and it's kind of nice because you're kind of entering like an even playing field. But it's really awkward because the weird thing that happens in LA is that it really slips into your normal life, and kind of actually weirdly enough, like Sugar Fine 7, I find it to be really beautiful, but also kind of scary, because there is a lot of reality to it, and it's a lot of like their actual lives, and it's a lot of like watching a lot of it kind of mirroring happening in real time. So that was always kind of freaky, especially when a lot of it was happening, you know, up in the valley when they were shooting over there, and the offices were different. But like, it very much like was a real life journey, and it was in real time as well. So that was kind of eye-opening to me, because I'm like, oh my god, like, you're actually showing everything. Like, this is actually happening in real life. Like, this is scary. Like, stop doing this. But it obviously worked out all in the right ways. But that weird, I'm like, my fake life or like my Instagram life is slowly melding into my real life by accident, or like kind of with vlogging, like Sami Jo, I feel like you probably experienced this too. Like, I find it really hard sometimes to be like, okay, I'm sorry, please don't eat that yet. I just need a really quick like pan of this image. Okay, good, we're good to go. And it's fine, again, because we're all used to it, but it's so weird, but it's
hard
allowed.
to be invasive, and it's also like...
But it's allowed. Yeah,
It
it's
is
weird, yeah.
But there's like that line that you don't know if you should cross depending on who you're with. Some
yes.
people are like down to be like, I
Totally.
brought my camera today, I was filming a little bit like
Absolutely,
at the
yeah.
pumpkin patch, because like it was a day to film. But like if we were on, you know, if I go on a date, or when I went to the
Dinner.
apple
Yes.
orchard like with Clay, that would have been for a great video or
Yeah,
a
yeah,
vlog.
yeah.
But I hate taking myself out of like what that actual moment is and
Yes.
trying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if a camera's on, the conversation's different.
It's different,
Are you
yes.
entertaining? Are you trying to make something funny or make it into a bit? Or like, what can you do to make this more appealing for
Or
the
did
viewer
you say
versus
it clean?
living it?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's really hard. It's hard to keep that up. It's hard to even do.
Totally. Yeah.
Or something organic happens and they're like, okay, that was hilarious. Do it
Do
again.
it again.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're either always filming or
Yes.
it's fake.
It's hard, yeah, and it's really hard to be like, okay, like I'm home now. Am I chill? Oh wait, no, do I take off my makeup yet? No, I have to take this last selfie, or like we have to do an outro,
Yeah.
or you know, it's just it's a little weird because you're kind of living a fake life to be. Well, I mean that's how I feel. Like I'm living a fake life when I vlog. Like that shit is not real.
You're living
I don't.
the story. It's for someone else, not
Yes,
yourself.
it's totally
Yeah.
in like you know what they're looking for, so you're like trying to like only show them that. Like I'm not actually going to show you that I'm shaving my leg. Like it's not unattractive shit, you know. So like like knowing, almost like producing yourself for something like vlogging or even something like Sugar Pine is almost like a microcosm of actually what LA is, because you're modifying yourself all the time. Like I'm meeting this person, I'm modifying myself. I'm having lunch with this person. Okay, I gotta act like this. I gotta put this foot forward or something. So I don't know, like it's I think I got used to it is a weird way to put it, but it's definitely uncomfortable, especially when I go to like New Jersey or New York or to Japan and I'm talking to real people that don't have any instance of this whatsoever. It's extremely uncomfortable because I'm like, oh, we're having a real conversation. What's a real conversation? Like, how do I feel in my heart? Like,
I think Sugar Pine does a really good job with like knowing when they kind of set up time now to film. Maybe it was different like in the very beginning and it was more like as it was happening, but now like the pumpkin patch, that was real. We went to the pumpkin patch, we had fun, but there's times like where, okay, we know we're gonna be filming this, let's do this, let's do this bit, and then the camera's off and we also enjoy like living real life too. I think it's really good to know when the camera's on, when the camera's off, and to have that line so you don't have to be like, oh, repeat that, or can I take a picture of your food? Like there's a time to do it and then there's a time not to, and I think they have a really good schedule so that, you know, they are showing real things and, you know, real, you know, it's real, but
It's
they
modified.
do it in a way that it's not going to interfere with
Yeah.
their real life.
yeah,
I
it's
feel-
really hard to find that medium.
Yeah.
I feel like, do you guys ever use your social media or your vlogs things like that to kind of like get over yourself. Like I feel like if I'm embarrassed of something, the moment that I feel like, oh my God, this thing is embarrassing me, it has control over me, like I have to post it. Like I have to put this out. Like if I think I look fat here, if I think I'm saying something embarrassing here, like if I like give this much importance to something that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, then like I 100% have to post it.
No, my heart is not that sound. No, not at all.
I don't have enough confidence to do that on social media,
Yeah.
but I do it with people where I like if I do something embarrassing, I automatically start talking about it.
Yeah, call yourself out.
Yeah, but I don't have enough confidence with social
think
media.
that's charming in person. I think on social media you have to have a comedic grace to it, and like
I think you do though.
Yeah, and you definitely do. Yeah, like I can't. I'm like awkward, and it'll be like, oops, haha, sorry, goodbye forever. But in real life, though, I do the same thing. I'm kind of like, I
much.
farted. Did you fart? That was me.
Yeah. Oh, who would fart? Oh, so weird.
But yeah, social media is kind of scary. I don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like anytime something has power like that over you, and it can a lot because like LA is so superficial and there's so much like your beauty and your youth is like a currency here, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
So when you feel like your self-worth is being, I guess, kind of like knocked down a few pegs, and that makes you feel bad, I'm like, no, this is stupid. Like you're right. Like I'm going to take myself out. Like here's this picture of me where I look bad, and then I'm not going to say anything about it, or like I'm going to put up something that's like, I don't know.
It's definitely, I think, more empowering nowadays, especially because I hate the term like, oh, that was so brave. Because I've gotten that once. I took like a no makeup picture. And they're like,
Someone said that was so brave.
so brave. And I was like, I'm going to just cry now for 2 years. No, it's fine. It's cool. I'm over it. It's fine. But I feel like...
I mean, it kind of
Being
is,
vulnerable.
though.
I know.
Just because we're in LA, where that is frowned upon, like realness is not rewarded.
That's why I feel better about it now. It actually, it's true. Like, I know they didn't mean it that way, or maybe, I don't know, fuck it, whatever, asshole. But now that I'm older, I'm kind of like, okay, yes, you're right. It was fucking brave of me, okay, asshole.
Have you guys heard of rejection therapy?
No.
Maybe
It sounds scary.
That sounds like negging.
So it's something that I
post-negging.
learned in this stupid acting class where this woman can literally fuck herself. But like, this is the one cool thing that I took from her is you play this game called Rejection Therapy that like helps you get over like auditioning and getting rejected, where there's a point system based off of like what like level you get rejected at. So example, it would be like, okay, let's like go like eat at Denny's, and like at the end of the meal, you're going to try to get the tax negotiated off of the receipt. That's going to be worth like 5 points. Or like we're gonna go to the library and you're gonna like try to like check out a book, but then just like ask if you can just like purchase it, like things like that.
Like
you know?
mildly uncomfortable.
Mildly uncomfortable.
I would
That's
be
like
very
it's not
uncomfortable
gonna
in those
hurt anyone.
situations.
It's not, but like you know you're gonna get rejected, and like just do it.
You know you're
And
gonna
then-
get rejected.
So you
I
get
see.
conditioned
Yes,
to
You get conditioned to
okay.
getting
So
rejected.
it hurts less, or it's less awkward.
It's just painful.
Because at the end of the day, it's like you can't take any rejection personally. Like it doesn't have a reflection on who you are as a person. It's like it has nothing to do with you. And so I don't know, like that's kind of how I feel about like the whole social media thing and like all of that. It's just
really good
it's
point.
learning
was
to
gonna
not
say
take
that's
rejection
brilliant.
personally. Yeah.
I'm still working on that.
It's like a lifelong thing, right?
Yeah, slowly conditioning yourself over time.
Yeah, because we're just like so like me centric all the time, and to like take some of that focus and just be like whatever.
I think I have a weird relationship with social media because I work in human resources. I don't have an on-camera entertainment job or social media job. And HR is very rule driven. And so sometimes if I'm posting something or even like telling the story of how I met Steve, I worry like in the future if somebody Googles me, is that going to pop up, and am I not going to be a viable candidate for that HR position that I'm searching for? But I think as as society progresses, I think we're getting more comfortable with women in particular talking about their sexuality or posting a photo that in a dirndl or something, you know, where I feel like it would have less bearing.
The Sarah Palin effect.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. That sounded marketable to me.
I was like, well, maybe.
I try to be your sidekick, and I like don't always think through things that I'm saying. I'm just like, I'm gonna say something to compliment what Alyssa's saying, and you know.
Natalia, that's
sorry.
why I love you. Yeah.
You know what's
sit back here.
You know what's really funny about
was
what
a
you
good
said?
effort.
It just reminded me when I first moved to LA, like over 3.5 years ago. Steve, who I know from Chicago, we have a mutual friend we went to that I went to
right.
college with.
And he went to high school with.
They went to high school together. So he asked me to be in a YouTube video like 3 years ago, but I was right in the market for like trying to apply to jobs, and I looked up his channel and I saw like it was inappropriate, so I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I think he wanted me to do, actually it was like another maybe Tinder type of thing, like meeting my sister Tinder, something like that. But I was scared to do it because if someone Googled my name, I didn't want that to come up. And then that job I started was like YouTube related. And then I started to get back into it. And then I was like, shit, like blew my opportunity. And then like that came back and I was like, maybe that's a sign. And now I have a husband.
And then it was a sign.
It's scary to be horny on your main account, you know?
Yeah.
It's your main account.
It's intimidating to even use like language. Just like I feel like for me, I'm always worried that like if I'm up for something that's like a kid show, and if they see the kind of stuff that I put in for Sugar Pine, I'm like, is that going to disqualify me from a job? But it's an acting job. Like I'm acting, but like, can that screw me over?
I think you're A-okay because, and also like, I feel like everybody's A-okay, but I totally understand you, Sami Jo.
I just hesitated when I was saying shit just now. I'm like, oh my God. And then I was like, wait, it's Sugar Pine. But like, I'm so brand friendly because like, you have to be and you should be.
I think that's smart.
I totally understand. I was auditioning for a few dubbing roles, and it was a Japanese producer that was looking at my stuff. I immediately got rid of all the hentai stuff, all the booby stuff. I got rid of everything, and I was like, okay, we're good to present. Okay, we're good. And luckily I got it, but it's also like you have to like sell yourself to the right people in the right manner.
Yeah.
It's just
a
business.
business.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sorry, like this is my business. I sell my face. That's a business, so I have to like change it depending on what I'm doing. And it's hard though because on YouTube you're like there's such an emphasis on being actually a who you are, and I am, but it has to be a modified version. I'm not
clean
always
version.
I'm not always like this, and I'm not always like this. So you have to kind of find the most presentable one, but. Yeah, it's definitely uncomfortable because I'm like, I want to be horny all the time. Everybody's horny, okay?
Yeah.
And you should be screaming it. And then I'm like, I need to play this little girl. I need to play this little boy. Like, it's weird, so.
Oh my God, I'm so glad we're editors. Dude, fuck that. I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's fine, As long as I'm not like a rapist. Like, I'm pretty much fine.
I was thinking though, it's going to be really interesting in like, I don't know, like 10 or 20 years when millennials are starting to hold more positions of power because everybody's going to have something that you can Google them for. Like everybody's going to have a drunk college photo. Everybody's going to have a regrettable tweet. Like, so I'm looking forward to that because then I think it's going to level the playing field.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like I got
great.
real lucky that like MySpace just got wiped out. Like Facebook is there. Your first Facebook post when you were like 13 are there, but like MySpace, that could have been bad, and we have a clean slate. Like
Zanga.
You know those
Zanga's
live journal.
I deleted my live
I
journal.
can't remember my password, so I can't
Zanga's gone
delete
for
it.
sure.
Like they
Please,
have
nobody
quizzes.
find it.
I did a Zanga quiz, and it's like, what's your full name? When's your birthday? What's your favorite color? What's your phone number? And like, how tall are you? What color hair? And it's like so fun. Like, ooh, I'm filling out all these things. That was literally on the internet publicly. Like, thank God. Zanga and MySpace gone.
Yeah.
At least I think everything on the internet's
I
always
love
on
that
the
shit
internet.
though.
Even my Reddit account, like which
Cathartic.
I never thought like anyone would like. I thought Reddit was like my lurking account, you know?
Yeah, same.
And so like
It's not.
I would like follow subreddits and like talk on things and like post things that like I would not want reflected back on me.
Yeah.
And then the other day I was like, oh, Sugar Pine 7 has a subreddit. Like, oh, like Jamie and Mimi are like commenting on this. I want to comment on this, and I was like, hold up, nope, you need to make a new account right now.
Business account.
I just don't
no
sign
way.
in. I just creep on things, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid of Reddit because I don't know how to work it.
It's pretty easy.
Reddit's
Like shit,
awesome.
you
I
see a
don't
shit
know.
post, you press the up arrow. You see something relevant, you press the down arrow.
It just gives me anxiety. I don't know.
It's supposed to kind of fill you into this hole. Like you want to keep going. It's like hitting a reference point in Wikipedia at every single scroll. That's what it is. It's purposely trying to funnel you into like this weird.
People are
rabbit
so
hole.
funny, like in the comment section of YouTube and Reddit. I'm just, I like those are the people who should be writers and
Right?
stuff. I'm like, the top comment for any YouTube video is like
Dude.
amazing.
Seriously, like Bruce and I will be streaming or something, and people are just commenting shit where I'm like, what the fuck? Why aren't you streaming? Because you're way fucking funnier than we are. Like, what the hell? Yeah. People are hilarious. And also assholes. There's
Yeah,
both.
that-
It's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
The lines blur.
It is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, last question for everybody: pancakes or waffles?
Oh shit, waffles for
Waffles.
sure.
Yeah, what kind of
No joke.
waffles?
A pancake isn't even its own thing. It's a
Belgian.
pan version of something else.
That's true.
A
She's right
waffle
about
But
that.
have you had a blueberry pancake? Because
Have you had a
Have you had
blueberry,
blueberry waffle?
Have you had
Waffles have
I don't think I've
compartments
tried
that hold the butter
Yeah.
and hold
Yeah.
the syrup.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the winning
on the
argument.
outside and soft
That's
on
the
the
winning
But if
argument.
you try hard enough, a pancake can be a crepe.
Oh, would you like cream?
How about this? Would you
Different.
rather
How
have
about-
the middle of the pancakes where like the butter has like all melted into mush, or the middle of a waffle? I don't know. That's hard for me.
Describe the waffle.
Yeah.
But you didn't describe the pancake. How
No,
fluffy
I know
is
what you're
it?
saying. I would rather have the waffle because the waffle, like you said, has little compartments where like you
I do like the
spread the
compartment
butter
argument.
through all the
Yeah.
compartments.
Yep.
You spread a
Nice.
little bit of syrup in all the compartments.
And it
Waffles
fills
are
each
sexy.
other.
They're like Swedish or like Norwegian
don't
or
have that many
something.
waffles.
Pancake is like
Welcome Belgian, right? Belgian
Yes,
waffles.
Belgian.
But sometimes they're a little too hard.
Okay.
Okay,
They
that's
have
a
to be
bad
made
waffle.
right.
That's a bad
waffle.
We've only experienced bad
and it's
ones.
just crispy on the outside.
if
and
it's
soft
too
on the
hard, you make it
inside.
into an ice cream cone.
Look,
It's the most versatile.
Okay, that's true.
yeah, winning
I like
arguments.
pancakes.
All right.
Actually, but Pancakes has a McGriddle. Don't get me started on this. Now I'm confused.
You're confusing yourself.
I like Eggos, so I'm
There's
gonna pick waffle.
Dude,
There's a
fucking so
Trader
good.
Joe's
God damn
Belgian
it.
waffle, vanilla flavored. It's very
Oh
good.
my God.
It's very
there's a
good.
Trader Joe's
I know
near
exactly
us.
what you're talking about. It's very good.
Well, maybe
I
after
might
this.
have to Trader Joe's it for a waffle.
You have to give it a try. It's really good. I swear.
I do. I have this weird thing. I like blueberry waffles, the Eggo waffles, but I eat them frozen.
What?
It's really good. It's
I've done that
really
before.
good.
What? It doesn't taste
I can
so
attest to
doughy.
it.
No,
It doesn't
it's
taste
an
like
Eggo, right?
flour.
Yes.
I used to do this
like-
when I was a child and I wanted my mom to make me food and she wouldn't. I would go into the freezer and get frozen Eggos. So they
Definitely
are
done
good.
it.
They're good
Yeah.
frozen.
It's also pizza and waffles are the two things that you can eat frozen that may or may not be better.
Wait,
than
no.
I don't think I've never
pizza.
eaten pizza frozen, but I would. I
great.
would go there.
It's hard to say if it's just like my depression being like, yes, the food that's in the freezer is good. Don't need to
perfectly good to
prepare it.
eat.
Just shove it into your mouth. No one needs to know.
Everything is okay.
Or is it actually, do I actually like it? I don't know.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Speaking of Eggos, though, there is a Spider-Man Eggo. Okay, I just went to Ralph's yesterday. It was great. It was like a trip.
Spider-Man on it?
Oh my God, it's his web. The waffle is his web. You guys, it's crazy looking. It's bananas.
I like hearing the laughs outside of our earphones.
Jamie, is this a good
Spider-Man's on
episode?
it?
Are you liking
It's literally a web. It's amazing. It'll blow your mind. It blew my mind.
I kind of want a web
I wasn't
waffle.
sober.
it? A
but
web waffle. A webble.
A webful.
oh.
How about curly fries or waffle fries?
Curly fries. Curly fries.
How dare you?
Curly.
Yeah,
Jack in the Box.
But
curly
waffle fries
Yes.
remind me of
Yes.
that
They have
YouTube
the
video that
seasoning.
is like waffle fries. You're 1,000 years old if you know what I'm talking about.
I fucking love those videos.
That's one of the first YouTube videos I ever saw.
Yeah, me too.
That-
Dramatic chipmunk, the bear falling onto
David
the trampoline.
Blaine. Does anyone remember the David Blaine parody?
yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, we used to think the simplest. It was a simple time.
Yeah.
Where he
It was
like
so
where he
simple.
pees and it's Cheez-Its. The David
Yeah,
Blaine
they're like,
parody. What the fuck? He's like, what the fuck, David Blaine?
We were there was just like a video of like just an animated race car, and it was like someone like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
It was like try not to laugh at this, and everyone would be like, "Oh,
not
this
that-
is the
is that-
funniest thing
is
I've
that
ever
old?
seen."
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's old. That was around the time
All right.
we were listening to Crazy Frog at parties. Do you guys remember
No,
this?
I was not.
God.
Like
was
Sandstorm was like our
Oh,
national
yeah.
anthem.
Okay, Sandstorm, yeah. Darude or whoever.
Yeah. Da-na-na-na-na. We have like Zombie Nation song too.
You guys remember Shoes?
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking that.
That was a
I
good
know like
one, too.
every word of like the whole opening of that.
That guy should win like
had
a
it on my
Pulitzer
phone.
Prize. That guy should win a Pulitzer Prize. He did the
changed
muffins
culture.
too. Yeah, he like was that Chris Lilly or no?
I don't remember.
know.
It was Liam.
There were a lot of one-hit wonders of the early
I don't
YouTube
remember.
world.
I don't know either.
True that.
I don't know who the David Blaine guy was either. So
No. Well,
Yeah. Well, thank you
Someone
guys
pass me
so
some wine.
much. Oh, you need more wine?
Thank you.
Okay, yes, we'll get more wine. Well,
Final wine.
Final wine.
Final wine.
Final
Final
wine.
cheers. Final
Yeah,
cheers.
final cheers.
final cheers.
Oh my god.
Everyone's like, ow.
Did we finish?
We did good, guys.
That one.
Okay.
This was a lot of fun. Do you need more? We should start a
please.
sorority.
A sorority.
Can we just nap all the time though? Because I'm
I'm
tired.
down with that.
Yeah.
Napping and eating
And
is like
napping
our
sorority.
Do you
main.
need to open
I
another?
love.
Initiation.
We good?
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Some.
It's okay.
Do you want wine? What?
But
Well,
it's not okay.
We'll just open more.
Do you want some of mine? I can like.
No,
pour
it's
half
bad luck.
in.
I just want to open another bottle. Okay.
I've never been on a podcast.
We'll be
with
here
this many
after the
people.
podcast.
This is a lot.
This
was
is
a-
huge.
Is
was
this
an experiment.
overwhelming or is this good?
I
guess
feel
we'll
like
find
we
out.
all respected each other.
I think it was okay.
Yeah.
This was lovely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I
It's very
talked too
easy to-
much.
No, you did great. Also, this is your intro to
Yeah.
like you as a person as
Yeah.
well. I feel like
It's
so
also the outro. I'll never
Thank
be
you
asked
so
again.
much. That's not true.
I'm I have no jurisdiction, but I'm asking
Okay.
you back.
We'll have you back for sure.
It wasn't enough.
Oh my gosh. Cheers.
To Mimi for setting this up.
To you guys for showing up. Thank you for
Thank
giving
you.
me your Saturday. I love you all very, very much.
It's yours.
Okay.
Definitely spilled.
Thanks for watching, guys. And if you liked it, let us know, and maybe we'll do this again.
No, thank
And if
you.
you
All right.
didn't like it, then you
Don't
need
tell
to
us.
go away.
And thank you to Simply Safe and Bespoke for sponsoring this podcast. You're awesome.
Whoa, that sounds way different.
Did you see my post?
I did.
And you saw it?
Yeah, you're
How
late.
fucking gross is that?
So explain what happened, and then I'll explain what I thought when I first saw it.
Okay, so our sink has just been like overflowing for the past, I don't know, month. And I've had to, put a thing underneath to
We had the
stop
same
the
exact thing happen.
water. And I finally